Hello students, in this particular audio presentation I will discuss some more newspaper reports. Now this is a very important topic. The question is also very important: daylight robbery, a broad daylight robbery. Now if you go on scrounging the previous year's question paper, if you go on searching or if you go on reading the previous year's question paper, you will find that many questions are related with this particular topic, daylight robbery. It's a uh, very important topic and very important from the point of view of examination also. So let me continue. You are Rahul or Rashmi, a staff reporter of the Hindustan Times. If newspaper name is also sometimes given. You have been asked to cover the incident of a daylight robbery when the inmates were watching television in their house. Inmates means the family members in a house. When they are watching television, at that time a daylight robbery occurred. Write a report in 150 to 200 words related to this daylight robbery. Write a report within 150 to 200 words. So how to start? A broad daylight robbery by Rahul, staff reporter, comma HT. Hindustan Times you can write the entire thing, or if you wish you can write HT also. New Delhi, 10th Feb, then 20XX. Year has not been mentioned, in CBSE format you can write it in this way also. So how to start? 3 unidentified armed youths robbed a businessman's house in Sundar Nagar yesterday at about 2 pm when the family was watching television in their drawing room. So at that time the daylight robbery occurred at about 2 pm in a businessman's house. The location is also important. It is in Sundar Nagar, and the entire family members, they were watching television in their drawing room. It was learnt that they entered from the back door in the street, cut off the telephone wires and bolted the doors of the drawing room from outside. Not only that, it's a well planned robbery. They cut off the telephone wires and they bolted or closed the doors of the drawing room from outside, and then they entered the bedroom, broke the locks of the chests, safes and almirahs, and carried away cash and jewelry. Then they broke the locks of the safes, chest and almirahs, and then they carried away the cash and the jewelries. The maid servant who was cleaning the kitchen noticed strangers moving about suspiciously. As she opened her mouth to shout, one of the robbers hit her on the temple with the butt of his revolver. Temple means on her forehead. So on her forehead she was injured, and who did it? One of the robbers did it, and it was being done with the butt of his revolver. She fell down unconscious. In the meanwhile, the robbers drove away in the Ford Icon car of the businessman. So, what sort of a planned robbery is this? You can imagine. They have looted the car also, and they all went in the car of the businessman. The maid servant is the only eyewitness in this case of broad daylight robbery, because the other members, they were all glued to their television sets. They haven't realized it. They realized it later, but at that time it was too late to capture them, because they all fled in the businessman's own car. So I repeat, in the meanwhile the robbers drove away in the Ford Icon car of the businessman. The maid servant is the only eyewitness in this case of broad daylight robbery. The police is investigating the case. So finally, you will close your report by saying it that the police is still investigating the case. So now I am moving on to another important topic. It is also very much, it has a social importance also, social awareness rather we can say, because traffic week. So the question is related with traffic week. So traffic week is being observed in your city. Within the first 2 days, the police has booked over 300 violations, but very few people are there who actually abide and obey by the traffic rules. That is the reason the police has booked over 300 violations. Underage drivers are the main culprits of lane breaking, jumping red lights, and speed violations. As Pritesh or Parul write a report in about 150 to 200 words for publication in a newspaper. So related with this, either you are Pritesh or Parul, you have to write a report in 150 to 200 words for publication in a newspaper. Now, what should be the heading? Traffic week. And remember, heading you can write the entire heading in bold letters. That can be done to look precise, to make it precise. You can use bold letters. Parul, staff correspondent. Staff reporter you can write. Staff correspondent you can write. If you don't want to mention the name of a newspaper, you may, but it's better you mention it. Or else you write staff correspondent. And you know that place and date is mentioned. Here also New Delhi, 8th April been mentioned. The traffic week currently being observed, and I already told you reports should be always in past tense. This entire traffic week already it has been observed. So a report is been written after that. So the traffic week currently being observed by the Delhi police promises to be effective in controlling traffic problems over the city or of the city. In the first 2 days of the week-long campaign, over 300 violations have been booked for various offences. Traffic week is going on. It has already started, and 300 violation of traffic norms and rules were reported, and the police had taken action within this particular week. Maximum offences were of lane breaking. These violations were detected using special devices. Speed limit has to be maintained, but these violators haven't maintained that speed breaker. A machine that detects the speed, it is already located. So traffic violations, if it is done, then automatically it will be recorded. So I repeat the term. These violations were detected using special devices with the electronic eye fitted strategically. Jumping red lights and breaking speed limits are next in frequency. These violations are reported to cause accidents with pedestrians and cyclists. Now the important thing is that these violations are reported to cause accidents with those people who actually ride cycles and those who actually walk on the road. High on the list of offences is rash driving by minor drivers. Minor in the sense that they are underage drivers, and normally for them speed is a thrill, but they don't realize that speed can kill them also at the same time. Some of whom sit behind the steering wheels without a driving license. Now, without a driving license, they drive their cars, they drive their bikes. This is very much unfortunate. It will be better if the traffic week is preceded by an awareness week. Now, you can include your own point of view also as a responsible and noble citizen, that awareness week can also be started after the end of the traffic week to make people aware of it. that we should not violate the traffic rules, because we are not leading our life in danger, but also we are leading the life of the people who are actually pedestrians who walk on the road, and also we are also leading those people's life in danger who actually ride bicycles. So it is my humble opinion that after the traffic week is done, it should precede by another week, that is awareness campaign or awareness week. So dear students, 4 questions related with newspaper report being discussed by me. One more question I will discuss in my next audio presentation. You all go through the audio and listen to it very carefully. Thank you, students. Thank you all.